Welcome to our deep dive into the world of painting.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
I was looking over this text you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I've always loved paintings, but,
Yeah.
I haven't really thought much about what makes them so powerful as an art form.
Well, I think we can definitely cover that today.
Yeah, so the text starts off right away saying that painting is way more than just putting paint on a canvas.
Right.
And I love how they describe it as like this journey,
Yeah.
turning thoughts and feelings into something you can see and experience visually.
Exactly. And I think what's really cool is the text keeps talking about the story behind each painting.
Yeah.
Like, think about Van Gogh's Starry Night for a second.
So, yeah.
All those like swirling brushstrokes and the crazy vibrant colors.
It's so iconic.
Yeah, they're not just like depicting the night sky, you know. It's Van Gogh's like emotional state right there at that moment.
Really?
Yeah, like the painting becomes a window into his world.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm already looking at paintings differently. And,
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way the text describes the different types of paint.
Yeah.
They use such evocative language,
Yeah, it is very descriptive.
Yeah, like they talk about the sumptuous colors of oil paint
Well,
and then the like translucent delicacy of watercolors. You
yeah.
can almost like feel the textures just reading those words.
Right, and it all comes back to like how the medium, the paint itself,
Yeah.
reflects something about the artist,
Mhm.
and us, the viewer, too.
Okay, so like how does that actually work? How does oil paint say something about the artist?
Well, like oil paints let artists layer and blend the colors.
Oh, yeah.
Creates like a sense of depth and complexity,
Mm-hmm.
like those incredible lifelike textures that the old masters would make.
Oh, yeah.
Like think of like a Rembrandt,
Yeah.
and then you've got watercolors.
Yeah.
They're all about transparency and flow, right?
Yeah, more like fleeting or delicate.
Right, exactly.
So almost like oil is bold and watercolors are soft.
You could say that.
And so is that like the artist choosing an instrument,
I love that.
like a piano versus a violin or something?
Yeah, each one has a totally unique character, right?
Yeah.
And it lends itself to a different kind of expression.
I see.
And this leads us to like all those different styles of painting that the text talks about.
Ooh, yeah.
Like realism, abstract, expressionism.
Impressionism,
Great.
realism.
The list goes on.
Right.
What do you think is so fascinating about all these different styles?
Well, just reading the names,
Yeah.
they just make me think of different things like realism.
Mm-hmm.
That's like photographic detail, right?
Uh-huh.
But then like abstract, that's more about emotion,
Yeah.
like a totally different way of looking at the world.
Is that on the right track?
You're totally on the right track.
Okay, good.
Each style evokes different emotions and pushes creative boundaries in like totally unique ways.
Okay.
Like realism, that's about showing the world as accurately as possible. Lots of details, creating like this visual truth.
Like a photograph. Yeah, like think about a portrait by someone like Vermeer.
Okay.
So detailed, you can practically see every pore on their skin.
Wow, that's incredible.
So much skill.
Yeah.
But then you've got the abstract expressionism, which came about in like the mid-20th century.
Oh, yeah.
Think about Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
You know, those massive canvases with just like drips and splashes of paint everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about representing the world. It's about like expressing the artist's inner feelings and energy.
So you might not even see a recognizable object.
Right.
Just the feeling.
Exactly. You feel the artist's presence in every mark.
So it's more about how it makes you feel.
Yeah. And then you've got Impressionism,
Right.
which was all about capturing those fleeting effects of light and atmosphere.
Okay.
Think about Monet's water lilies,
Mm-hmm.
all those like shimmering colors and loose brushstrokes.
Yeah.
That's not about like making a perfect picture of a pond.
Right.
It's evoking that sensation of sunlight hitting the water.
So it's like you're feeling the moment rather than just seeing it.
Exactly. You got it.
That's amazing.
And that's just like a taste of the huge variety of painting styles out there.
Yeah, there are so many.
And the text really makes it clear how this huge range of styles makes painting so dynamic and ever-changing.
Yeah, it's always evolving.
Right.
Speaking of variety, let's talk about the actual materials,
Okay.
like the paints themselves.
Yeah.
The text mentions oils, acrylics, watercolors.
Mm-hmm.
Each one seems to have its own personality.
Oh, they totally do.
Like, how do you mean?
Well, choosing a medium is like a huge decision for an artist.
Okay.
Really impacts the final look and feel of the painting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like oils with their rich, buttery texture.
Yeah,
Artists have loved them for centuries.
I can see why.
They're so versatile, you can blend them, glaze them, build up layers of color. Like all those glowing effects you see in the Renaissance masterpieces.
It's crazy how vibrant they still look hundreds of years later.
Right.
Like, how is that even possible?
Well, oils are known for being durable and lasting a long time.
Okay.
Then you've got acrylics, which are more modern.
Oh, yeah.
They're water-based,
So easier to clean up.
way easier.
All right.
And they dry way faster than oils.
So I bet that's good for certain styles.
Yeah, artists who want like a bold graphic look often go for acrylics.
Ah, okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, so it's like two totally different approaches.
Yeah. And then you've got watercolors.
Which are like the most delicate.
Yeah, known for their transparency
Right.
and those like delicate washes of color.
Mm.
They're really good for like dreamy ethereal effects.
Ooh. Well, that's...
Like those landscapes where the colors just sort of bleed into each other,
Yeah.
creating like this magical atmosphere of light.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right.
So it's like oils or the master's acrylics are the modernists, and watercolors are for capturing fleeting beauty.
That's one way to put it.
I'm starting to get how each medium kind of lends itself to a different style and feeling.
Exactly. And that's what makes exploring painting so fun. Yeah. There's just so much to unpack.
So much depth and nuance.
From the story behind the artwork
Mm-hmm.
to like the materials and techniques they use to bring it to life.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Right.
And then there's this phrase the text uses that I love, the shared journey between the artist and the viewer.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like you're not just looking at a painting, you know.
Right.
You're part of it somehow.
Yeah. What do you think that means?
That's what I want to know.
Well, we're going to dive deeper into that in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, good.
But for now, I want you to consider this. When you look at a painting, you're not just seeing colors and shapes on a canvas.
Okay.
You're engaging with the artist's vision, you know, their emotions, their way of seeing the world.
Yeah.
And you're bringing your own experiences and perspectives to it, too,
Right.
creating this unique and personal connection with the artwork.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm already thinking about paintings I've seen and wondering what that shared journey was like.
Awesome.
I can't wait to unpack this more.
Me too.
You know, as we're talking about this shared journey,
Yeah.
it makes me think, like, does the style of the painting affect how we connect with it? Emotionally, you know?
That's a really interesting question.
Would we feel the same way looking at, like, a super realistic portrait versus something abstract?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The style definitely like sets the stage for a different kind of emotional experience.
Yeah, so give me an example.
Okay, so picture like a Renaissance portrait, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like Da Vinci's Mona Lisa,
Yeah, everyone knows that one.
right? All that crazy detail,
Mm-hmm.
the subtle play of light and shadow,
Mm-hmm.
it just pulls you in, you know?
Yeah.
It makes you want to like study her face and that mysterious smile.
Like you're trying to figure out what she's thinking.
Exactly, you're trying to unlock a secret.
But then if you're looking at a Jackson Pollock,
Oh yeah, totally different vibe.
right,
All those like chaotic splatters of paint,
it's so wild.
the raw energy, the movement,
Mm-hmm.
it hits you like in your gut, you know?
Yeah, it's powerful.
You might not be like recognizing a specific image,
Right.
but you're feeling all of the artist's emotions.
It's like they're transferring them to you.
Yeah, it's intense, right?
So it's like realism invites you to observe, and abstract expressionism just throws you right into the feeling.
Exactly. You nailed it.
Okay, cool.
And each style has its own way of like drawing us in,
Yeah.
sparking different emotions and thoughts.
Like, what about Impressionism?
Oh yeah. Impressionism is all about those fleeting moments and the effects of light.
Mm-hmm.
Might make you feel nostalgic or like full of wonder, you know?
Yeah.
Think about those Monet water lilies.
Those are so beautiful.
The way he captured that shimmering light on the water.
It's like a memory. Almost like a dream, right?
I'm realizing like, even though I didn't know all the fancy art terms,
Yeah.
I've definitely felt all these different things looking at paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember going to a museum once
Yeah.
and there were all these huge abstract paintings
Oh, cool.
with tons of color and they made me feel so energized.
But also kind of confused. Like I was missing something.
And that's part of what makes abstract art so cool, you know?
How so?
Well, it doesn't give you like clear answers.
Mm-hmm.
It asks you questions,
Mm-hmm.
makes you search for your own meaning.
So it's more open to interpretation.
Right. Some people find that frustrating.
Yeah, I can see that.
Others find it totally freeing.
Makes sense.
And this goes back to that idea of the shared journey, right?
Yeah.
You bring your own experiences, your own way of seeing things.
Right. It's not just about the painting itself.
Exactly. The text talks about how paintings can like stir up memories and emotions.
Yeah.
You might be looking at a landscape
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly you're thinking about your childhood home or something.
That's so interesting.
Right. Or like a specific color triggers a feeling of joy or sadness,
Yeah.
even if you don't know why.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
I'll see a color and I'm instantly transported back to like a specific memory.
Totally.
And it's not even like a conscious thing.
That's what makes art so powerful. You know,
What do you mean?
it taps into our subconscious, unlocks these memories and emotions.
Like a key.
Yeah. And you might not even realize they're there,
It's wild.
right? It's like the painting becomes a mirror,
Ooh, I love that.
reflecting our own inner landscapes.
So it's not just about what the artist put into it.
Yep.
It's also about what we see and feel when we look at it.
Exactly. And that's why, like, two people can look at the exact same painting
Mm-hmm.
and have totally different experiences.
I can definitely see that.
One person might see beauty and peace.
And the other person sees like chaos and turmoil.
Yeah, it all depends on, like, their own lens,
Mm-hmm.
their personal history, and what they're feeling in that moment.
So subjective.
Totally.
Hmm.
You know, we talk about reading a book or watching a film,
Right.
but with painting, it's more about experiencing it.
It's true.
You're stepping into a whole other world, you know.
Of senses and emotions.
Yeah, and that's where the magic happens.
Right.
When you just let yourself be present with the artwork.
Just be in the moment.
Let the colors, the textures wash over you.
Yeah.
It's like a conversation, you know,
Yeah.
between you and the artist.
So it's a two-way street.
Yeah. You're both contributing to the meaning of the artwork.
It's not just about what the artist intended.
Right. It's also about what you as the viewer bring to it.
All of our thoughts and feelings.
Everything you know, and every time you engage with a painting,
Hmm.
you're adding another layer.
Of meaning.
Yeah. Building on the artist's vision.
It's like a collaboration.
It really is. And that's what makes painting so powerful.
Yeah, what do you mean?
It connects with us so deeply, you know,
Huh.
makes us remember things or think about the world in new ways.
Yeah, and sometimes it just makes you feel something you weren't expecting.
Right. And that's why it's so important to, like, engage with art openly.
And be curious.
Yeah. Let yourself be surprised.
This has been so insightful.
I'm glad.
I'm curious what our listeners are thinking.
Yeah, me too.
Has anything really resonated with you so far? Like, what new ideas are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Take a second to really think about it.
So we've covered a lot of ground.
We really have.
You know, we talked about how paintings tell stories and bring up different feelings and even create this connection between the artist and the viewer.
It's really amazing when you think about it.
It really is. It's like this dance between what the artist wants to do, how they do it, and how we see it.
I'm honestly kind of blown away by how much goes into creating and experiencing a painting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more than just what you see on the surface.
Right.
It's like there are all these layers of meaning and feeling built into every single brushstroke.
Exactly. And we've touched on the technical stuff too.
Yeah.
Like those choices artists make about styles and mediums.
The different types of paint and all that.
Mm-hmm. It all comes together to shape how the artwork hits us.
And it's not just about like having the skills right.
Oh, definitely not.
It's about using those skills to actually say something.
To communicate.
Yeah, to tell a story or share a feeling or even a whole way of looking at the world.
Absolutely.
So like when an artist chooses to use oil paint,
Yeah.
is it because they're thinking about that rich texture
Could be.
and how well it captures all those little details?
Mm-hmm. Like a Rembrandt portrait.
Oh, yeah.
Those layers of glaze creating that almost glowing skin.
It's like you can feel the history in it.
You really can.
And then you've got watercolors, which are completely different.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's hard to imagine getting that same level of detail with watercolors.
True watercolors are all about transparency and fluidity.
Like capturing a feeling.
Yeah, or a fleeting moment. Think about those Turner landscapes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
all those washes of color creating atmosphere and light.
It's almost like a dream.
Right.
It's like choosing the perfect instrument for a piece of music.
I like that.
Like a grand piano for a big, powerful symphony,
Mm-hmm.
and then a delicate flute for a softer, more thoughtful melody.
Beautiful analogy. It
Mhm.
really shows how much thought goes into every part of painting.
Yeah.
It's all about creating an experience for us.
The viewers.
Yeah, using just the right tools and techniques to get a specific message across.
It's like that conversation we were talking about between the artist and the viewer.
The shared journey.
Yeah, we both add something to the meaning of the artwork.
Exactly. And that's what makes painting so powerful as an art form.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, it's that ability to connect with us on such a personal level.
Yeah.
It can make you remember something important or see the world in a new way or just feel something you weren't expecting.
And I love how it's different for everyone. What might feel peaceful to one person could feel totally exciting to someone else.
Exactly. It's about that personal connection.
Finding something that speaks to you.
Yes, finding your own meaning in it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about a painting that's really stuck with you over time.
It could be anything.
A famous masterpiece or even something your kid drew.
Whatever comes to mind.
What was it about that painting that really resonated with you?
Yeah, and what story do you think the artist was trying to tell?
How did that story connect with your own life and experiences?
It's something to think about.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep those creative sparks flying.